Hi, I'm Anthony Smith, and today I'm going to be talking about multiple intelligences. I was going to put how people learn, but it's more about how they understand the world around them and how they interact with new knowledge. Howard Gardner is the person who came up with these intelligences or discovered them. He is a psychologist at Harvard. By using these different methods, people are able to understand a little bit more how they're able to understand and learn things. So teachers can use these methods and hopefully find out about their students, what kind of intelligences they have, so that they're better able to present information in a variety of ways so that it makes sense to not just one or two students, but multiple ones. Hopefully all of you understand. At the end of this, the students, you will be able to take a quiz and you'll understand which, I put learning style, but which intelligence basically that you possess. And hopefully you'll be able to use that. It'll give insight more to you as a person and how you learn so that you can take that knowledge and you can use it to your advantage to understand things a little bit better. Oral linguistics. So this is the first one. This intelligence is able to understand by reading and deciphering text. They also can produce work. They're very good writers, very good presenters, they're speakers. So these people understand things written or spoken to them mostly. Logical and mathematical is the next one. These people are people like mathematicians, they're chemists, they're people who can work well with numbers, they're very great problem solvers, and they can think critically about problems and have multiple different angles to be able to solve that problem. So logical and mathematical, they're very good with numbers and math and science. Visual and spatial. These are people who, I put cartographers, not sure how well that applies to the 21st century now, but maybe Google Maps. Also analysts though, people who can see visual things, they can interpret that and really get a feel of where they are. So the spatial part comes in. Somebody can look at a map and say, okay, I know that I'm here this way, without even really having to make a whole lot of sense of it. They know which way is north. They know how they can get from point A to point B. So it's just kind of innate and within them. So hopefully I have one of those people with me or just a GPS because I'm not like that at all. The next one is going to be musical. So musical would be composers and musicians, singers, things like that. These people really understand all, some of them can write music, some of them can obviously sing it and stuff, but they understand pitch and tone, and that kind of makes sense to them, and they're able to pick out things in maybe popular music that everybody listens to. They can still pick out some of those small little nuances that happen that most people wouldn't really pay that much attention to. The next one is, that's visual and spatial. So, naturalistic, this is zookeepers, meteorologists, people who work with plants, animals, nature in general. Those things make sense to them. They can train animals. They can keep plants alive, unlike me. They really understand nature and they interact with it very well. Meteorologists obviously can, interact with weather patterns. They understand them. Well, they can't really interact, but they can understand the weather patterns, and then they can kind of see and tell and interpret that and kind of make more sense of those things to us. The next one is bodily kinesthetic. So these are people like dancers and athletes who can use their body, and they use that to create or to solve a problem, and they know how far they can push their bodies physically to get to a goal. So Olympians know how much they have to train and how far they can push their body until they get to that goal and they get that gold medal, hopefully. Dancers know how their body moves in relation, all their muscles move in relation to each other, so that hopefully they create a dance that's visually pleasing to other people. The last one, or not the last one, one of the last ones, is interpersonal. So that means like psychologists, counselors, it means people who can talk and understand to other people. They talk to other people, understand them. They can pick up on their moods, their intentions, their motivations. They really can see other people, break them down, and then hopefully they're able to kind of show that person, if they're seeking advice, they're able to show that person a kind of a mirror reflection of themselves and say, this is what I've heard from you or I see from you, and this is kind of how you are and how you present yourself, and maybe that can actually help that person out. So these are great people to know if you aren't like the next one, which is intrapersonal. So intrapersonal, these people really know themselves very well. They understand what their mood is. They're in touch with what they want. They have ambitions and goals, and not that other people don't, but they're very in tune with that. So entrepreneurs and politicians, people like that, really know what they want, and then they go after it. So that's kind of more the intrapersonal people. So I have a short video really quick that I'm going to show you. This video is really kind of will help explain things a little bit better by using things that we all like, which is movies and some cartoons. So I hope that you like it. Let me get that started for you. Hold on. All right.
Hey, what's going on? Doing some reading there?
Yes, but you know I done some poetry from Captain Harvey, heavily on it. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
He makes his move. He's writing about sci-fi eye. He's adding back the coefficient. He has a value for p. Plugging that back in, he takes the derivative and he solves the equation. Crowd goes wild. No.
Imagination. Wow, I never thought of it that way. That's really something. But I didn't need it.
With imagination, I can be anything I want. A pirate, a football player,
A starfish.
Patrick, you're already a starfish.
See square when it works. You tell
why don't you give it a shot?
Coach said to fake right and break left. Watch out for the pick and keep an eye on the fence. Gotta run the given guard, take the ball with the heart. And don't be afraid to shoot the outside, Jay. Just keep your head in the game.
When life takes you down, you know what you gotta do? Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. Swim, swim.
Dory.
I love to swim.
Dory.
When you want to swim, you must.
See, I'm gonna get stuck now with that song. Now it's a nightmare.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pause that real quick. So basically, sorry if that makes it a little bit better. So basically, you see, how those are illustrated here. So the next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to bring up. So this quiz right here basically is going to tell you what your intelligence is, so that you're able to understand that and use that later on whenever you're doing assignments, whenever you're learning something in class. Or later on, in life, just in general, choosing a career or something like that. So I already did take this quiz, and this quiz right here, it shows, this is afterwards, so it shows you all the different things right here. It's broken down into each intelligence, and then I scored the highest right here on musical, and then I got interpersonal is my next one, so understanding things musically and then understanding other people. I would say that that's pretty accurate. I do love to sing. I can play some instruments, things like that. I listen to music all the time. And then I also, as a teacher, you kind of have to be able to understand your students and other people as well. And I'm also really interested in psychology, so I think it's pretty spot on. So basically, you're going to take this quiz, find out which one kind of works with you, and then later on we do assignments. We're going to keep that in the back of our mind. I'm going to take that and see as a class kind of how everything stacks up. And then maybe, if there's one thing that's more than another one, I can be able to present information in that way that'll make sense, the most sense to everybody as a whole. Okay? So thank you so much for paying attention.